Welcome to your gardening week. Hello. Well, the summer looks like it's just around the corner at the moment. Plenty of warm weather and growth is powering on. All sorts of spring plants are coming into flower. My blackcurrants are in flower. They're going to produce a heavy crop this year, as well as the last of the tulips and all those beautiful spring plants that we know and love. And very soon it'll be summer and it's time to be thinking about getting the bedding and also getting ready to plant it out. But in the meantime, I've discovered all sorts of jobs in my garden that I really need to get on with. The first being checking my lily bulbs. Now, I grow a lot of lilies and they have got quite a lot of lily beetle on them at the moment. Now, these are bright red beetles. They're not particularly well camouflaged at all, but they lay eggs all over your lilies and those eggs will hatch out into larvae, and the larvae will eat the leaves as well as the adult beetles munching on the leaves as well. So you can end up with some very ragged looking lily foliage if you're not too careful. Now, the key thing is with lily beetle is that although they're not very well camouflaged, they have got an amazing ability to drop off the leaves as soon as you go near to pinch them off. And this really is the only way that you can deal with them. So you need to put one hand underneath the foliage and then carefully knock the lily beetles off into your hand and then dispatch them in whichever way you feel is appropriate, either taking them away from your garden somewhere remote or crushing them and putting them on the bird table for the birds to eat. Now, another one of the problems that I need to be keeping on top of at this time of year in my garden is dealing with box blight, and I've suffered quite badly with it over the last 3 or 4 years. It's a bit of a problem in gardens where you haven't got good air circulation around the plants. It's a fungal disease, and really most of the normal fungicides won't go anywhere near it. A lot has been written about box blight in terms of dealing with it, chopping the bushes right down and getting them to regrow, collecting all the dead and diseased foliage up so that it can't spread from one plant to the next. I've done all of those things and yet still I have it. So I've been trying this top Buxus product. What you do is you dissolve one of the big tablets in a litre of water and then you put that into a handheld sprayer and then spray that onto the foliage as soon as the weather is warm enough. Now, I found that my initial trials with it have worked, so I'm going to persevere and do a little bit more of it this year, keeping on top of it, doing it perhaps every 6 weeks just to make sure that my bushes recover. And it works by acting as a foliar feed for the plants to keep them in top health so that they can hopefully shrug off any fungal diseases. But the job I'm looking forward to most of all this week is putting in the supports for my climbing French and also my runner beans. With these in, I know that summer's well and truly on the way. The thing about both these crops is that they need plenty of moisture at the roots, so take time to add some well-rotted garden compost or manure to the soil, fork it well in and then consolidate it by walking over the surface with the heels of your feet just to squeeze out any extra air so that the soil doesn't dry out too much. With this done, you can then put the canes in. Now, I've chosen big 10-foot bamboo canes and I'm using both hands low down on the cane to push them into the ground. Don't push them in holding the top of the cane, otherwise it could snap and you could do yourself an injury. Then I'm going to use a piece of plastic coated wire to fasten the tops together, but you could also use garden twine. Then it's time to sow the bean seeds. Now, I'm using the tip of the trowel to take out a shallow hole about 2 inches or 5 centimeters deep, and then I'm popping a couple of bean seeds into each hole. Cover them over with some of the soil that you've excavated and then water well, and they should germinate in 7 to 10 days time. So there we are, some of the jobs that I'm going to be getting on with in my garden this week. I hope you've got plenty to be doing too. If you need any more ideas of what to do in your garden, then visit my website davidhurrian.com, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get hints and tips every week.